Hi, how's it going? This is my drumming masterclass for my FMP launch. I'm recording an EP with solos influenced by my biggest influences. Steve Jordan, Steve Gadd, both massive, real legends in drumming. Yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm going to play you some solos, and I'm in their style, and then one in my own. And going to talk about their influences, where they got their styles from, who they've played with, bit of history, and yeah, hopefully it should be alright. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the rudiments of drumming that come from military history, where on the snares, marching snares, stuff like paradiddles, just and yeah. 7-stroke rolls like that, and flowers, and talk about how these drummers use them in the way they did. So the first drummer is Steve Jordan, huge drummer from America, played with Sonny Rollins, Clapton, John Mayer, Keith Richards, everyone. And his influences like Al Jackson, he's a big one. Loves Elvin Jones, as we all do. All of those old jazz guys and some of those funk and soul guys, Clyde Stubblefield, DJ Fontana, people like them. And he's quite strange, his solos, because he's very groove based. He's a real pocket guy. Not many. You don't often see actual recordings of his solos on studio albums because he doesn't do it. But live, he's very groove based. Got a type of Gadsden feel. The drummer called James Gadsden, who played with Bill Withers, did that, he's at Hughes, mate. That type of stuff, the 16th note and the cross stick or great notes on the snare to really sort of keep it going. It's a good feel. And so he's very groove based, and the other thing about him is he's always had a really high cranked up snare sound. If you say to a drummer you want the Steve Jordan snare sound, they go, yeah. I'm really cranked up by those old jazz players like Tony and Eldon and people like that. And so I'm gonna try and do a solo in his sort of style of things. He doesn't use a huge amount of rudiments. I mean, of course he does in fills, but not like other drummers where it's obvious. So I'm going to try and do a solo in his sort of style, sort of homage to Steve Jordan. I shall go now. I'm not Steve Jordan, annoyingly. But it's that kind of thing, you know. Not a whole lot happens, but it doesn't need to if you've got a pocket like Steve Jordan, because, you know, you know, if you can make someone dance with just a drum groove, you know, you're a pretty great drummer, and he can do that, and that's why he's been so busy for the last 40 years.
Will, can I start, can you give me an example of a song that I would know that he would have played
okay. Do you know Briefcase Full of Blues, the record by the Blues Brothers? He was on that, where he did Sam and Dave tunes, which is quite an interesting story. It was Hold On, I'm Coming.
Yeah.
And Sam and Dave's tune, and the Blues Brothers covered it. I don't know if you've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
It's good, but he says that he didn't listen to the original before that, and he says he can't listen to him play that tune anymore. He can't do it because when he heard it, he almost threw up his version, because he says he was way too busy. He was just this and that and fills, and he said he can't listen to it to make him sick, because he's just way too busy. Wasn't what Al Jackson Jr. did. He was the drummer at the time who was on the original recording. He says, and after that, he just need to pack it in with the fills and try and make it flashy and just hold the groove down. It's what people want, and it's worked for the past 40 years. He's played with Keith Richards, John Mayer. There's a lot of John Mayer, the John Mayer trio. Do you know them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ever listen to a great tune with him on, is they do a cover of I Got a Woman, Ray Charles.
Uh-huh.
He does a really, really amazing groove that's really, really simple, but really a great groove, really great. And then you've got Pino Palladino playing, that makes it all the more amazing. And then, so that's the Steve Jordan type thing, very simple, very laid back, but everyone loves him. He's an incredible drummer. I'm going to quickly change snares for the next one. Different snare sound for Steve Gadd. Steve Gadd again is proper giant in drumming.
And why are you changing snares?
Well, don't particularly need to really, but Steve Jordan, I'm using a live custom here, Steve Jordan cranked up, so you get that really sort of funky Clyde Stubblefield, Elvin Jones type thing, really smack it. And then this one, Gadd's a bit more sort of dead. And is an iconic drum sound as much as Steve Jordan. It's just different. This is far more sort of a little bit more ringy and just turn the snares on and get it. It's still quite high. It's not like that 80s flat thing, but it's a different sound, and it's one that Steve Gadd's used. Steve Gadd, New York, from New York, I'm pretty sure, and he's played with everyone, and he played with Paul Simon, Eric Clapton again, James Taylor. The great thing about him is, you ask anyone, there's an interview with James Taylor, and he says he's the greatest drummer in the world. I can't imagine going on tour with anyone but Steve Gadd, because he's really just. And Steve Gadd's playing it stems a lot from military drumming. You know, they have in America like drum corps and stuff like that. And so he got the rudiments down really, really well. One of the best sort of rudimentary players out there. So he's a big fan of the 7-stroke. That. And then he had flams, and he did that sort of stuff. And it was how he came up with 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Paul Simon. It's just great, amazing player. And but huge on the history as well. He an old Afro-Cuban rhythms. Do you know Late in the Evening? Mm-hmm. Paul Simon, he was a Mozambique, which is just as well. Except on the recording, he's actually got 2 sticks in his right hand and 2 in his left hand, which just makes it sound, full and amazing, that brass in the background. But Steve Gabb, jazz drummer, learned jazz, learned the military stuff, and then that's why he played with lots of jazz bands. He played with Jim Hall. Jim Hall, he did a great record called it's gone. That's really annoying. But a great, if you look it up with Jim Hall, great record. So jazz influenced, played jazz, learned the military stuff, and I'm going to. Some of the stuff he uses. He's a big fan of the 6-stroke roll. Uses that a lot. Big fan of that. So I'm going to again try and replicate his kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.